Hey folks, as the name suggests, the people in my neighborhood is a project that helps me learn more about where I live. It began as an effort to organize the neighbors in our subdivision. Then it grew into an effort to learn more about our adjacent communities, and then to learn more about their adjacent communities, etc., etc. About a year ago, I was able to formalize this project into a Google map with several layers. These layers include your community building blocks like voting wards, subdivisions, apartments, schools, churches, businesses, and local crime. Now, based on recent direct feedback, nobody cares to be shown how this map was built. I get it. Too many details. Many folks, though, care about what the map reveals, what it can teach us about where we live. So let's use the map to tell a compelling story by the numbers. But before we get to the map, let's tackle the numbers first. All right. I live in a voting ward with 3,000 registered voters. 2,000 of those voters are white and live north of what I call our Mason-Dixon line. We have one. 1,500, 75% of those white voters live in 5 key Northside communities, let's call them. Now the other 1,000 voters in our ward are black, and they live south of this Mason-Dixon line. I'm one of them. There are 2 candidates vying to be elected as representatives of our ward. They both live on the north side. Now here's a reality check. Political campaigns have limited resources. I would not blame these candidates if they both focus their resources on targeting the 1,500 votes in the 5 north side communities. That just sounds too much like common sense. So far, neither of them seem to be making themselves visible much on the south side. I ain't mad at them. But they're overlooking an opportunity that's hard to see unless you have a visual aid, and we do. Roll the demo. There are 50 registered voters in my community. I live in Crosswinds, the green circle at the bottom. And as I leave my community to drive our daughter to school, I pass a second community on my left. It's called Hampton View. There are 50 registered voters in that community. Now, as we near our first stoplight, there's an apartment complex on the right, used to be called Bay Bridge at the Points. That community has 90 registered voters. Now, after we make this right turn, there's an apartment complex to the left called 1250 West that has 230 registered voters. As we proceed to the right, there is yet another apartment complex called Natchez Trace that has 100 voters. Now, if you're keeping score, that is 570 of my ward's 1,000 black voters who live within walking distance of my house. Now, it's a long walk, but they live within walking distance. Now, what does this say, and what does that mean? Now here's what it says to me, again, by the numbers. The two North Side candidates will share 2,000 votes. Let's explore the possibilities of how that might happen. If they split the votes evenly, 1,000 votes apiece, they will have created an opportunity for a third South Side candidate who simply targets the South Side voters, the black voters. Now, if one candidate happens to dominate the other, the third candidate who woos the South Side black voters, attempts to organize them, may have a say in which of the two North Side candidates wins. Those are the two extreme possibilities in this situation. And there are lots of other possibilities that exist between those extremes. So, the word to the wise is to make an effort to attract and organize those 570 voters who live within walking distance of my home. This might matter more than we realize. Selah. Thanks as always for listening.